Something that I think a lot of guys still don't understand in 2025 is that you can't win an argument. Often when we feel like somebody is wrong on a particular subject or topic, we feel the need to correct them, tell them that they're wrong, tell them that your way of thinking is right. And we feel like this is the right thing to do, like we have to educate. But in actuality, a lot of the time it's the wrong thing to do. A lot of the time, those efforts are completely misguided and actually end up hurting you. You see, a couple of years ago, I read a book that changed my life. The book is titled How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it's by a gentleman called Dale Carnegie. And within this book, there was a particular chapter titled You Can't Win an Argument. Now, I'd like to read a little extract from this chapter and then expand on my thoughts. You can't win an argument. You can't, because if you lose it, you lose it. And if you win it, you lose it. Why? Well, suppose you triumph over the other man and shoot his argument full of holes and prove he is non compos mentis, then what? You will feel fine. But what about him? You have made him feel inferior. You have hurt his pride. He will resent your triumph, and a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Now, when we break that down, what does that really mean? To me, it's that you might well be right in what you say. You might well have a point to what you're saying. But just because you're right, just because you have a point, it doesn't always mean it's the appropriate thing to do. Sometimes your insistence on telling the person in front of you that they are wrong is breaking down a lot of relationships. It's causing a lot of resent, a lot of envy, a lot of anger towards you that possibly one day is going to bite you on the backside, because there are people, believe it or not, who are not very open-minded. And those people, if proven wrong, will feel quite embarrassed. They'll feel quite ashamed. They'll feel quite angry. And very often, they will resent the person that has corrected them. And I wanted to say within this video, look, there are going to be times where you know you are right on a particular issue. You know what you're saying is the truth, and you know that the person standing in front of you is incorrect. And I'm saying to you, it's still not always the right answer to correct them. Because that resentment, that envy, that anger that you might receive because you had to tell somebody they were wrong, you had to educate them, in the long run is not going to be worth it. There are people that I speak to, and I know that they're ill-informed about a particular topic. I know that they have biases around a particular thing. And I know that if I wanted to, I could correct them. I was speaking not too long ago in my place of work to a security guard, and he was talking about health and fitness and his best tips for getting in great shape and looking after yourself. And this guy wasn't in great shape. And one of the things that he would say was that the gym is a complete waste of time, full of knuckleheads, and it's not good for your health, it's not good for your fitness. Now, as somebody who's spent a long time in a gym environment, in some way or another, he's kind of crapping on me and what I do. But the key here was to not take things personal at all. It's nothing to do with me. I didn't take it personal at the time. I just saw it as somebody in front of me who is, ill-informed about something. They have their own way of thinking. He was of a certain age as well, whereby if I said something, I don't really think he was going to change his mind. You know, when people get to a certain age and their opinions are their opinions, and that's it. There's no changing and chopping. So I just decided to politely nod and agree with him and ask him why he thought that and what was his experience about getting into great shape. And to be honest, yeah, there wasn't a lot of substance to what he was saying. There wasn't a lot that made a great deal of sense. But if I had told him that he was wrong and I had told him that I was right and that his way of thinking was ill-informed and that he needs to look at academia and he needs to understand science better, what do you think would have happened? How do you think he would have reacted? You know, because I didn't say something, the next time I bump into that gentleman, I'm sure it'll be a nice firm handshake and a smile that's exchanged between the two of us. But if I got out what I wanted to say in the moment because I couldn't resist the temptation of, you know, holding back, I just had to let him know, I just had to tell him what I thought and tell him that he was wrong, that relationship is probably broken down forever and I've hurt somebody's pride. So the point is, sometimes you are going to be right. Sometimes you are going to know that someone you are speaking to is incorrect about a particular thing. But it doesn't always mean that it's the right thing to tell them they are wrong. It doesn't always mean it's the right thing to insist you are right, because it can create a real sense of resentment. People will hold on to these things as well. And look, if you are a guy who is looking to climb the corporate ladder, if you are a guy who is looking to build something and build new connections, this isn't something that I would recommend to do. You don't want to be the young guy on his way up who's just a smart ass and thinks he knows everything. And even sometimes when you do know, sometimes it's better to just shut up and let people have their opinions. They're doing better than you. They make more money than you. They're more successful than you. And you need something from them. Don't, feel the need to correct them and tell them that they're wrong, because they're just going to tell you to go away. They're going to say, who is this kid? Who's he telling me that I'm wrong? Who's he telling me that I'm ill-informed about a particular thing, So, look, I hope this has been valuable in some way or another. This is something that changed the way that I did things. I used to be the guy that would always fight his corner no matter what, and no matter who I was talking to. And I found that, yes, although at times you have to shut your mouth, and although at times you have to pretend as such when you're having conversations with somebody that what they're saying isn't a load of crap, I have developed better relationships and better opportunities. And I have found myself to be more liked than I was before. Sometimes, guys, it is better to hold your tongue a little bit, avoid the arguments, because you really can't win. You might feel like in the moment you've won, you've got your point across, but after a little while, that resentment from the other person is going to come to you, and it may well do some real damage. So be careful. Anyway, guys, if you took some value from this video, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more from me. The men's Discord link is down below in the description. If you want to join that, feel free to click on the link. And if you're interested in one-to-one call with me, the link's also down below. Book yourself a slot and I'll see you on the other side. As always, guys, thank you for your time and your attention, and I will see you in the next one. Best of luck.